Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Truth Is Out There. You'll excuse me if I get really frustrated. I have to keep an eye on my microphone because it tends to like to stop recording. But today we're going to be discussing Snow White. Now, Snow White is very well known from both Grimm fairy tales and the Walt Disney movie, which came out in the 1930s and was the first full-length color animation that Walt Disney. However, Snow White isn't quite as cute and lovable of a story as one might think. Now, the thing with Snow White is she may have actually been based off of a real-life woman living in medieval times in Germany. There are two claims saying who she might have been and why these things might have been linked together to make such a story. We're going to explore both women today. The first claim for Marguerite von Weldeck came from German historian Eckhard Sander in 1994. He wrote the book Schneewittchen, Märchen oder Wahrheit, or Snow White, is it a fairy tale? Marguerite von Weldeck was a German countess born to Philip IV. At age 16, her stepmother, Katharina of Hatzfeld, made her move, for unknown reasons, to Brussels. She fell in love, Marguerite that is, with Philip II, who would later become the next king of Spain. Now, both Marguerite and Philip's parents disapproved of their romance because it was politically inconvenient. Now, at age 21, Marguerite died of apparent poisoning, and a lot of suspicion was cast upon the King of Spain. It was said that he sent out assassins to kill her in order to make the ascension of his heir to the throne a little bit more seamless. Now, there are other aspects of the story that one would wonder where they popped up in said life, such as the dwarves and the poison apple. Well, Marguerite's father was a landowner and owned very many copper mines. And many of the mines were actually manned by children who grew up with deformities due to working in those mines because of the poor conditions. Many of them ended up being termed as poor dwarves because of these deformities. And at the time of her life, which was in 1533 about, there was a man who was arrested for giving poisoned apples to children that he believed to be stealing from his produce. That's one claim. The next person we will be looking at is Maria Sophia Margaretha Katharina von Etherell. Maria, who I'm going to refer to her as from now on because her name is way too long, was born in 1729 on the 15th of June. The reasoning behind thinking she may have inspired Snow White comes from a study group in Lower Bavaria where Maria lived, which was done for 17 years and published in 2002. Now, Maria was the daughter of Prince Philip and his wife, a baroness, and lived in a castle in Bavaria until it was later turned into a museum and is still a museum today. Now, after the Baroness died, the prince did remarry to a countess who has a very equally long name. Her name was Claudia Elizabeth Maria von Veningham, Countess of Rheinstein, and she was said to have disliked her stepchildren. Now, there are a couple things that kind of make Maria's credibility a little bit more believable, being that the castle was house to an acoustical toy called a talking mirror, which was made in Lourdes in 1720. Apparently, they were actually pretty popular, or rather famous, in that matter, for making such things. It is rumored that the prince gave his new wife the toy as a wedding gift, hence the mirror on the wall. Now, a couple of other things where the dwarves came from. Lourdes is right next to Bieber, which is a big mining town surrounded by 7 mountains. As we discussed with Marguerite, we know that child labor was still a big thing, and deformities did happen a lot with children miners. So dwarves did tend to happen quite a lot. And with the 7 mountains, I would say that that's probably where the number came from. Now, there are other things like the glass coffin and poison. Now, Lourdes is very famous for their glass works, so that could factor in to the idea behind the glass coffin, that the dwarves may have crafted such an object to house beauty, such as Snow White. And apparently Lourdes has an abundance of deadly nightshade growing all around the area. So that factors in where the poison may have come from as well. So you see, Snow White isn't quite as cute and cuddly and, oh, someday my prince will come, as Disney may have made it seem. Although neither of these studies or articles or books have any say about some of the other objects used in the Grimm fairy tales, like the comb or the corset, or the stepmother making herself appear like an old crone in order to kill Snow White. It's still safe to say that they're pretty cool and pretty logical to the idea that the story had to come from somewhere. So, who do you think it was? Comment below, and as always, you can always comment and give me an idea, or your idea, of who or what I can rant and rave and research about for the next video. So for now, see you next time on The Truth Is Out There.